Video, we're going over our next project, which is the investment simulation project. And this is simultaneously going to be the most easy project you have all semester and the most difficult project you're going to have all semester. This is an easy project in the sense that there's no complex background math that you need to work with. The most complex math we're going to be working with within this project is multiplication. All you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking a number which represents the value of investment that you have in a certain category, and you're going to multiply it by a number to show how that investment fared over the course of the year. So maybe our investment gained 5% or lost 10%. Well, that's just a simple multiplication problem. The real hard part of this problem is that this is an investment simulation, and we want you guys to come up with a strategy on actually how to invest your money in order to maximize your profits. You can do whatever you want with your investment each year, but it's all up to you. We're going to give you no help on actually developing your strategy. So enough background information. What are we actually doing here? So as you can see here, this represents 1 year out of a total of 40 years that you're going to have a chance to invest within. And so at the beginning of each year, you're going to receive $10,000, and then you're going to put it into your implemented strategy. And so there are almost no bounds on your strategy. You could decide to invest all $10,000 in one category, or you can divide up that $10,000 into multiple categories. It's all up to you. The one caveat to your strategy is that you always must invest your $10,000. All $10,000 must go into some sort of investment method each year. So we're going to take our $10,000 and we're going to implement it into a strategy. Then we want to see how our investments fare over the course of the year. So we're going to create this function called 1 year, which is going to see how the values of our investments actually change. And then we're going to output the total value of our investment, and then we should also output the amount within each category. So how much is located within bonds, how much is located within stocks, and etc. And so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this cycle a total of 40 times for, again, those 40 years that we're going to have a chance to invest in. And then hopefully at the end of those 40 years, we have greater than or equal to $1.5 million worth of investments. And so this series of 40 years represents one trial out of the investment simulation. And we're going to run a total of 2,000 trials. So 2,000 trials, each trial consisting of 40 years. And then hopefully out of those 2,000 trials, we reach this $1.5 or greater million goal greater than or equal to 60% of the time. So that's the magic number here. 60% of the time, we want to get this $1.5 million goal. And so that's an overview of the investment simulation. So how does this function 1 year actually work? So in order to help describe how investments have changed over the course of the year, we're going to come up with this idea called a year type. So we're going to say that the markets were either stellar that given year, good that given year, average that given year, or catastrophic that given year. And there's going to be a probability that the type of year occurs. So for a stellar year, 15% of the time we're going to have a stellar year. And so how are we actually going to decide based on these probabilities what type of year we get? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to choose a random number A, and we're going to place it on a number line that we divide up according to the probabilities. So as you can see here, so 15% for a stellar year, right? So I divide up this number line from 0 to 1. I make a subcategory from 0 to 0.15%, which I'll call the stellar region. So if I choose my random number between 0 and 1, and it lies within the stellar region, I know I had a stellar year. And so I can continue to divide up this number line according to the other categories. And so as you can see here, from 0.15 to 0.5, which is a 0.35 difference, this is the good region. So again, if my random number lies in this good region, I know I had a good year. And so that's how you choose the year type. You choose a random number, and then you place it on this number line. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to calculate a percent difference. We want to see how each of our investment categories changed. So how stocks changed in that given year based on that year type. How inverse stocks changed based on that year type. And so if you guys look in the project PDF, there are a bunch of graphs that actually say an investment method and then how that investment method will change for a given year type. And so we're going to be doing a similar idea. We're going to look at, for example, let's say stocks. We're going to see what type of year we had, and then we're going to choose a second random number to see how that investment actually changed. So if you imagine, maybe we have stocks, right? And then we realize it's a stellar year, we might get a number line like this. So for a stellar year in stocks, we might get plus 5% for some probability, plus 10% for some probability, minus 90%. Okay, that's not really that realistic for a stellar year, but anyway, minus 90% or plus 1%. So again, for a given year type, we're going to look at our investment method, and then according to that row, we're going to choose a second random number and see how much that investment actually changed. And so we're going to do that for all of our different investment categories, and then we complete the function 1 year, because we can add up all of our new values of investments and come up with our total value. And so there's one last thing I want to do within this video. I want to give you a tip. Always invest in the casino on year 39. So as you guys remember, our goal is to get $1.5 million at the end of our 40 years. And so if we were to fail getting that $1.5 million, it really doesn't make a difference if we have $0 at year 40 or $1 million at year 40. Either way, we still failed. So if at year 39 you still don't have that $1.5 million, always invest it. Always invest it in the casino, because that'll give you the best chance of pushing yourself over at that $1.5 million limit. And then again, if you even fail at the casino, right, and you lose all your money, well, it doesn't matter, right, because $1 million is the same as $0 within this investment strategy. So remember, always invest in the casino on year 39 if you're not close enough to actually make that $1.5 million. So I hope this video helped, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.